he is not going to fold under this. As I watch Floyd Mayweather, yes, I will happily admit he is much better boxer. I think that something needs to be said, aside from the physical elements and the experience, that Floyd Mayweather is starting to say some things that are very bizarre. He was just talking to our own Stephen A. Smith yesterday, and he was saying, Conor is younger, Conor is hungrier, Conor is faster. He's putting himself down. Now, he doesn't really believe those things. You have to understand the psychology. This is the first time ever Floyd has been in a spot where he wasn't favored to beat a guy. Everybody is expecting Floyd to go out and not only dominate this fight, but get him out of there in 1 or 2 rounds. Floyd is starting to feel that. It's an unusual spot for him where he's looking and going, hey guys, I appreciate that you all have faith in me, but you've got a little bit too much. How about we go out there and 2 men go out and have a contest? These are the intangibles, because what Teddy and I are watching right now is an amateur boxer getting ready to take on the best of all time. But the intangibles do matter.
That is a pretty stark characterization. An amateur boxer getting ready to take on a guy that could be 50-0 by the time the month is out. Our Brett Okamoto has been on the scene all day. We've moved to Station 3. Couple action in the ring. Then we've hit the bag twice. He's there, boots on the ground. His eyes are closer than any of us. Brett, what are you seeing right now with your 2 eyes there?
Yeah, from a technical standpoint, I think Chael and Teddy have really outlined a lot of what's going through my mind. I mean, obviously, one thing I told you, Zubin, is that I expected him to be in amazing shape, and I know that that's very, very crucial to him. I mean, that's been crucial really throughout his career, especially after he lost to Nate Diaz last year. He felt that he was very inefficient with his energy, is what he said. That fight was at 170 pounds when it was supposed to be at 155 pounds. So just looking at him physically, and this has not surprised me at all. I knew all along that Conor McGregor would do everything in his power to get as prepared as is humanly possible to face Floyd Mayweather. But everything that you're hearing from the 2 experts there about the technique, I would have to agree with.
Teddy, I want to ask you this, because you have been in the corner, you have trained some of the guys that basically ate pressure for lunch, and Chael has talked about what a performer this guy is under pressure. For those of us that are just fans, that haven't been in the corner, that haven't been in the ring, can you explain the intangible of the mental side of something like this and the pressure with the world watching? Not the physical, the mental.
There's a mental part, and he's right on the button talking about the mental part. My UFC counterpart there. 75% of the game, all right? There it is. 75% of my business, my sport, is the mental part. And McGregor has been in that realm. You know, he has been in that environment. He's been under the big lights. And the most important part, what does that mean mentally being right? What does that mean having the mental edge that you have to be a championship fighter in whatever, whether it's boxing or UFC? What it means is that you have to understand, you have to be able to push the wolf away from the door. The wolf of submission. The wolf of where you feel like breaking down. The wolf where you feel like giving in. Where you don't think that you can find the way. Where you start to make excuses. Where you're not reliable. Where you start to give in. Where the normal person, the person out there, the layman person, they can do that. They can give in. They can still go to work the next day. They give in. They say they're sick. And the next day they can still show up at work, and it might not hurt their career. But in the boxing ring, you cannot do that. That's called the chamber of truth. And the truth will find you fast. So he understands what it means to be tempted by those hard truths. He understands what it means for the wolf to come to the door, for the devil to knock on the door and say, hey, you know what? You can get out of here. You know, it's not human nature to face what these guys face. The natural thing to do is to survive. Let's be honest. That's why we've been around as a race so long. We find ways to survive. But when you're in the ring and that natural instinct comes to you to say, hey, I wanted to survive. I want to be able to get out of this so I can be okay, so I can survive. When that comes, you have to be able to shut it down. That's not normal. Regular people don't have to do that. But people that fight for a living, that face the things that people like Mayweather and McGregor face for a living, they have to have the mindset to be able to do that. Listen, don't ever think they don't feel like we feel. They feel scared. They feel like giving up sometimes. But the thing is, they have to have the capacity to say, no, this is going to last for a couple moments. If I give up, I'm going to have to live with that for eternity. I am not giving in. I am not submitting. That is what we're talking about when you're saying having the proper mental state of a champion.
That is unbelievable commentary from Teddy Atlas as we continue to see McGregor work on the heavy bag. Chael, to you, because this is an explanation that Teddy gave of somebody like yourself. Tell me how it is when it's somebody like McGregor or yourself that feels like they're about to give in. They have absolutely nothing left to give, and they keep going. Teddy explained it. You lived it. How do you find that last gear?
I'll tell you what, you block it out more than anything. You can have all the tough guy sayings you want to have. I preach this to kids too, but as a guy that's been in there when the house is on fire, you just keep going. The more you can dumb it down. Listen, there's something in sport. I talk to the kids I work with all the time. It's called paralysis by analysis. The more you sit and focus, the more you try to do the math and 2 + 2, all you end up doing is freezing up. There's a level of this that comes with experience where you've got to be loose and you've got to push forward. You've got to find that reason to stay in the fire. It sounds easy for me to do, but guys, no, it's really not. Look, you don't have to be a fighter in the sense of we're punching and kicking and grappling and doing all this with one another. You can go put on some shoes and go for a run outside. At a very short period of time, you're going to get tired and want to slow down.